Aries, welcome to Tourmaline Tarot. We're going to do your monthly read. And I'm kind of just going to freestyle. I kept trying to structure stuff, but everything was just like, not it, do it over. So I'm really just going to see what comes out, honestly. Got a couple decks out, see what I'm drawn to, a couple oracles, see what happens. I'm going to get the just baseline for August, see what's going on with just your good old Rider-Waite-Smith. And it is general, so if it's not your jam, you'll know within probably the first couple minutes. And that's fine. And you know, you can, people say like Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, whatever it is. But I think gut-wise, you can tell if something's for you or not. So if you go by placements, that's awesome. But like, if you're like, I think this is where my, where that one asteroid is. I'm like, don't push it, all right? So here we go. If it fits, it fits. And hopefully it feels like your cozy pants or your cozy sweatshirt or something good like that. So let's do this for Aries. What are we doing? Really just wants like a good, solid shuffle. 2. All right, give me one good one. I know you're like, I didn't come here to shuffle. All right, Aries. You, Judgment, 6 of Swords, Page of Cups reversed. I feel like you're being very discerning about where you're putting your time and energy. There's something that if, you know, you're just keeping it moving in some ways. It's almost like you're just not letting people disturb your peace. You know, and it could potentially look harsh, especially with Judgment, because, you know, it's like you in, you out. There's really kind of no gray area with you. Because with the Page of Cups reversed, it's like, no, see my little fish in the cup? You don't get to fish in the cup. Because whenever the cups are reversed, I'm always like, you emptying it out. No, if anyone has disappointed or fallen below the mark, it's just, no, I'm good. It's not that you're mean about it, but there's just a very, like I said, very black, white. Because if you don't feel like you can manifest something, if you don't feel like you're capable, like whatever the situation is, if it's not helping you get to where you need to go, why are you going to spend time on it? You know what I mean? Love this. Knight of Swords reversed. Okay. We're not doing that. What are we not? Oh, are we not going to be indecisive? Oh, are we going to put the cup where it belongs? I'm sorry, I usually don't go this far back, but it just keeps getting better. Chariot. Oh, Eight of Swords reversed. There's just a lot of forward push. I want one on this Judgment. Nine of Wands reversed. It's not that you are shut out, because, you know, with the Nine of Wands, if it was upright, I'd be like, well, maybe you have a little bit of like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. So I'm going to be over here. You guys can do what you're going to do. But with this, it's like you feel like there's an openness, there's a desire for it, but at the same time, if it ain't it, it ain't it. So I really don't blame it. Actually, give me one on this. If it doesn't let you grow, if something's not growing, bye. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it as negative at all. I mean, I think people might be like, wow, Aries is stone cold. And you're like, nah, I can get colder. You haven't seen cold. But you're just being very like I said, it's very black, white, very little gray area. Not a ton of wiggle. And there ain't nothing wrong with giving people limited wiggle, I mean. So, this deck wanted to do its thing. Let's see what we have going on here. This is one of my favorites. So, what's that? You want to do a 9 card? Alright. I hear you, but now I have to make room. It's like I literally do. Like I said, I've been trying to be like, we're going to do a structured blah, blah, blah. It's like, good luck, lady. We do what we want. So, we're kicking it off with Queen of Wands. Loving it. There you are. I especially love that sunflower. It's just like, almost like a beacon. Followed by Six of Wands. Okay. You're getting attention in some way, shape, or form. Which is Knight of Cups. So I feel like something, like you are noticed. You are seen. People are like, hey, Aries, what can we do? Then we have the Fool. Going in the center of the nine card is what? That was way too many, but Queen of Pentacles wanted to go. We are gonna, if it's like up to 3, I'm like, you know what? It pertains. We have the Magician and 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, nothing but net for Aries. That is too much too. But you know what? I see it, so we're doing it. It's 4. I was like, we only take up to 3, and this is 4. But it's 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Lovers, and the World. Okay? It's like they're doing the clarifying for me. You buggers. Okay. So that was 7 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles. Okay? Then we have Knight of Wands. I know this shuffle takes a while, but this is the way it wanted to go. All right, and then we have the Sun. So in the center, you have the Magician and 10 of Pentacles. Remember how in the first round, it was the Magician reversed? This is like, you know what I'm hearing? Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically about money, but it's like you're very focused on something that is going to bring about this 10 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles for me is kind of like, I call it the whole enchilada. You are, you're firing on all cylinders. There's something. And I feel like you reaching a goal or something you've set your sights on is of the most importance at the moment. You could be looking good all day, and everyone's like, Aries, here, please take my cup. And you remember he had the 4 of Cups there. You're like, no, thank you. I ate yesterday. There's just something about it where it's like you can't be bothered with anything that's kind of like, yes, I know I'm good looking. Like, yes, I know I'm attractive. I know I'm funny. You're like, thank you so much. I get it. But you kind of have this new, it might not even be new, but with the Fool, and actually I'm going to go out there and say, I feel like you're recharged. If this has been a long-term thing that you've been going for, it's like maybe you've been on a side quest, trying to, other stuff popped up that you had to deal with, or other things you had to do, but it almost like it all brought you back to this point. And it's almost like, a video game where you went and you got like the magic stones, or, the special piece of whatever, that you got to put in your little bag, and now those are the items that are going to help you on this part of the quest. You're back to like the main quest. You're keeping moving, but everything that you've done up until now made sense. And if you have been feeling like you were off track, just know I don't think you were. I think everything that you did outside of this or around this, there was a reason for it. And I hate being like, there's a reason for it, because it just seems so blithe. But I think you're going to, at some point, something's going to pop up and you'll be like, I have it. I know that. I found this out, blah, 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 blah. And it all just kind of feeds in on each other. Now, where I think it can get maybe a touch sticky is you have the 7 of Wands and the 5 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. I don't think this is you. I think this is, if anything, it's you having to deal with people that don't understand the change in you, or don't understand what you're doing, or people that don't like you shining brighter than them. And this actually jumped out at me with this Knight of Wands. There's the jumping through a ring of fire, literally. Like, there's literally just this light around this person going through this, and it's just, you know, I hate to be like you're magical, but I mean, pretty much, like, you're just capable of doing stuff that I don't think other people acknowledged or, um, or not willing to accept. But like I said, you doing stuff very well only highlights the fact that they're not doing it well. And you know what? I don't think you really need to worry about other people's feels. It's like people are responsible for their own feelings. And with the Seven of Wands, you might need to kind of block that out of skosh and be like, you know what? I gotta keep going here. I gotta keep jumping through these hoops, making magic happen to get to this sun, which is the opportunities that I feel like you doing this work around you and starting these things, and we'll get to this Nine of Pentacles and stuff in a sec, but you making these moves is what is making the opportunities possible. Because if you weren't ready for it, I don't think this stuff would be lining up as much as it would. Because then we have Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Lovers, and the World. So Nine of Pentacles, like I said, that's an individual card. This is like attitude of gratitude. This is right before you hit this 10. So, whatever goals you had, you set them. You're out here telling the truth. You're getting clarity. You're learning. The Lovers, it doesn't have to be necessarily a relationship, but there is a decision that has to be made that puts you on this new path with the World. So, you have the World and the Fool kind of in the same run here. So whatever goal you're starting, it might not be completely cooked at this time because you have the Ace of Swords. So and you have the Fool over here. So there is some starting level, but I feel like once you get going, it's like 0 to 60. And, it's like opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Aries, get on board. Come on. Get in. We're manifesting. Now, that is what I have off the top. I'm just going to look at the corners real quick. So Queen of Wands, I do believe that's you. The Knight of Cups, I feel like either that's you being like, here, like, I know how I feel about this. I want to move ahead with something in particular. But I really do feel like this is other people that if you do shut someone down, I think that's where this whole Five of Swords, Seven of Wands, Four of Pentacles things happens, because they're more concerned with keeping, not in a malicious way, they're more concerned with you being the same Aries that they knew, or you being the same Aries that they would know would do XYZ. But when people get focused and start making moves for themselves, that's when you start putting boundaries on, like, no, I can't go out, or no, I can't be spending money on this, or no, and people are like, oh, wow, they changed, and you're like, sorry, like, sorry my personal growth offends you. And then you have the Sun, which is that opportunity and stuff coming out. So it's like, why are you going to, shut that down when you're like, okay, I'll be over here manifesting my dreams, sorry. So we have, let's see, I want to see what's going on with the Sun here. Alright, what's up with the Sun? We have the Page of Cups. So yeah, remember you had the Page of Cups back there that was reversed? It's like, now's the time. So, let's see, I want to see one more on this. That's way too much, but it is the Hermit. Alright, that's more like it. It's the Eight of Swords. But, like I said, remember, people want you to kind of stay the same. I'm getting something. Let me just... No, that's too much. But, actually, we're going to keep it because it actually makes sense. So I was like, okay. This is what I mean. Like, I'm trying to be very formal with my reading, but the cards are like, I got something to say. So, it's like, shut up, lady, and do it the way I want. So, yeah, with the Page of Cups and Eight of Swords, remember how I said there was a vibe of, like, people want you to stay the same in some way? And I feel like this Page of Cups might be that last little ditch effort of someone to be like, but, and you might think about it for a hot second. There might be a moment of like, okay, I see what's happening here. Like, okay, let's see how she flies. But then you have King of Pentacles, King of Swords, and Two of Cups. Your inner and outer have to match up and be balanced. Now, if it comes down to a relationship and you are deciding between the person who is nice and stable or the person who's really logical, that could be that as well. You know, and it's a king, but also, you know, in this deck, kings are also female. It doesn't really matter. It's the energy. So, do you want this person? Which one gets the cup? Which one gets this Page of Cups here? Who is it? The King of Pentacles, who is considered like, you know, they call it like the husband card. I'll just say the spouse card. This person has everything, right? And if you're sitting in this Ten of Pentacles energy, why wouldn't you want that? But could also be a little bossy boots too. Sometimes they get a little like, I did what I said. I want what I want. And King of Swords, known for being potentially a little rash, a little blunt, but very decisive, very smart. You know, or are these just flat out qualities you're taking in to fill your own cups, both of them, and just keeping it to yourself in that way? But like I said, I feel like there is going to be some kind of last ditch, not even last ditch, but, you know, this Knight of Wands, I think other people around you feel the movement that you're making, and it's making ripples, and it's uncomfortable ripples, and there's going to be one last, like, Aries, just be the Aries I know. And you're like, why? Like, change is good. So let's see, this Knight of Wands, let's see what this is about. What moves are we kind of doing here? Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, I don't think it's the cheating, like lying, whatever. If anything, if you didn't do this stuff, I feel like you would be being inauthentic to yourself. Because the wheel's turning and you see it going, and it's almost like trains leaving station, and you're like, do I just let it pull out of the station? You know? Or you're trying to keep it on the low so you don't offend or hurt people's feelings. But like I said, you're being very much more black and white, goal-oriented and focused. Give me one more on this Seven of Swords. There she is. Ten of Swords and the Devil. It's more of a burden to be what you're not, who you're not. Do what you're not interested in doing. So in some way, you know, don't undermine yourself. But conversely, if someone wants to keep you in some kind of loop, and you feel maybe even a sense of obligation to them for whatever reason, I wouldn't. Because see how it's all stabbing her noggin? It's pretty much in your head. You know? But the wheel's turning. It's like trains leaving station. I do want one on this Knight of Cups. Let's see what that's about. The Moon. Yeah, there's just something that, if this does get offered to you, I don't feel like you see enough of it, or you feel like it's stable enough. There's something about it that just doesn't sit with you, and you're like, yeah, it looks good, but it's not it. Something about it is not it. And the Fool, I want to see what the Fool's talking about. The Empress. You have this, like, I'm not calling you a hobbit, but you know, like when Frodo finally gets to go on the journey and he's like, woohoo, and he has this little bag, and like, that's you. And then these other people are like, no, Aries, stay. You're like, I gotta get out of this Shire, baby. Sorry, I didn't mean to go Lord of the Rings. But I just want one more on this Ten of Pentacles here. So, what are we talking about here? King of Wands. You have to do it. There's literally a fire. Remember I pointed out the fire on the Knight of Wands there? There's just this motivation, I think, that's drawing you, that's pulling you, that you can't get away from. And if you don't acknowledge it, you'll feel very inauthentic, like you're just, there's just a cognitive dissonance you're going to be butting up against. Because it's like when you hear the call, are you going? You know? Because you did have judgment, and for me, sometimes that's the call. It's like, burr, 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 like, you coming home or not? Gabriel's like, yo, Aries, get in, we're going manifest. And that's what I mean. Like, there's just something about it that's bigger than any kind of, like, you know, offer that anyone's trying to give you. It's like someone's trying to give you, like, a corn dog when you have, like, an entire, like, you know, A-plus cruise buffet available to you. You're like, why would I want this corn dog? There's everything goes back to food with me, I know. So there's something about that. You're like, I could have so much more than this. So, actually, this is a new deck, and I am just going to read it upright just because. Let's see. Depending on how it comes out. Like I said, the cards are kind of doing their own thing, literally as they're flying out at me. Justice. Page of Swords, Ten of Swords. Once again, it's like if you're not honoring the way that you're really meant to be, you're going to be feeling very, it's not even stuck. It's just like I said, there's going to be like a cognitive dissonance that goes with it. Because here's the world. Again, it's like there's new things going. Any kind of stuff that's up in your head. Also, justice sometimes is an apology. Page of Swords, you could be being watched and someone's like, oh no, I better apologize now because they're done with me. But no, it's like I said, train left the station, Bubba. And then you have Temperance. So yeah, there's big balance, patience, and it's like you're facing this new thing with a kind of calm, patience, steady going ahead. You know the Ten of Pentacles is there. The motivation is there. So, like, you can't ignore it. Give me one on Temperance here. Ooh, hello. It's the Two of Swords. And for me, the Two of Swords is like, being... I actually think you might need to be patient with yourself in some aspect, because the Two of Swords for me is acknowledging what you might have been not necessarily ignoring, but the stuff that's kind of fallen through the cracks in the interim of trying to take care of everything else. And so, you know, if there is like kind of loose end stuff that you feel like you got to wrap up, I would really just try and be gentle with yourself, because moving out of this Ten of Swords energy can be a little difficult, but at the same time with, you know, the Ten of Pentacles stuff, I feel like you kind of wrap that up, especially with the world being there. It's like you kind of get to kind of package it up, put it on the shelf, move into a new thing. So, it's not even combative in any way. Like I said, it's just very black and white. Does this serve me? Does this not serve me? But like I said, watch for that last ditch effort that could make you kind of doubt the way you're going. So, looking at the oracle here. The Fish and the Mountains. There could be some kind of emotional facet that you're trying to kind of get over, wrap your head around, shut down, perhaps. But like I said, train left the station. It's the train tracks, and there's the fire. That's the motivation. That's the let's get going. You know, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Awesome Pfeffer Incorporated, we're going to do it. So, Laverne and Shirley. But then, you know, you do feel like there's a little bit of work that has to go into it. You know, it's Cupid, it's what you want, it's your heart, but it's still arrows through it. That's not 100% good time. And then you have the crossroads. So I wouldn't let the, it's not even weight, but the responsibility of making a decision be the thing that holds you back or keeps you stuck in a loop. I'm more than think you have the tools and know-how and motivation to make the decisions happen. But when you do make them, I feel like you do have to defend them in some way, which could be kind of like the, I don't know, I've had this where I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the people who have something to say about it, because, like, it's kind of none of the business. It's like, you know, I work for nunya.com. So, here we go. This came out. Basically, this is like the zip it. So you have the coffin. There's a before and after for that for me. So something's shifting. You might not really be sure where this is going, but it leads to grounding. Some kind of, you know, this is like the Hierophant card. For me, it's the Tower in Lenormand. So that's like contracts, opportunities, something kind of formal. And you're watching for it. I feel like the signs are pointing to where to go. And like, I don't mean like, you know, I say sometimes like you're seeing 333 on the microwave, like whatever it might be. Mine is license plates and phone numbers, but you know, I kind of, you know, just look for the nudges. But like I said, when that sun starts popping, yeah, that's the key. The key is the motivation, the fire that, you know, I kept seeing in the cards there. So, actually, what is the key? Give me one more on the key. The sun, the heart, the fox, and the ship. So it can feel like it's taken a little longer, but the desire is there. The opportunities are there. You just need to have the fox, which is kind of the cunning, to know how to make things work in your favor. So like I said, watch out for that last ditch effort of like, let's keep Aries, you know, how they are. Because in some way I feel like they'll, like I said, you're either highlighting what they're not doing or you're highlighting their lack with your achievements. And that's a them thing, not a you thing. So, Physician, this is Space Age Lenormand. And this is kind of a wackadook cards, but I love them. And like I said, it literally is like, the cards are like, pick me up, do it. I said so, lady. That one wasn't clean. Give me something, 3 to close it out, and we'll see what we got here. Physician, Journey, Lover. So Physician for me, especially in this deck, it's more about being able to diagnose, being able to find the issue and fix it. You know, and I feel like in this way, you know, putting your finger on it is the Journey and the Lover. It's finding your desire and where you want to go. So if you're putting your finger on like, that's the problem, let's fix it, let's change it, let's move out of it. So I feel like, you know, with Lover, it's more about you finding that motivation and passion stuff that you want. So Aries, that's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you later.